I want to open with the question for you. I want to know who in the audience can tell me, what do these three things have in common? The first is Obama's influence on the nation. Susan Boyle becomes a millionaire, and boiling water. Everything is hot. That's pretty good. I got to use that.
They can overflow once they reach maximum temperature.
If we go back to 2004, Obama influenced the nation and became a household name and was asked to be the president of the United States, and people began to assume that he would be the president in 2004, not 2007, not 2008. In 2004, you can Google it, he did a speech at the Democratic National Convention. And even now, when I watched it, I had goosebumps all over me because I saw it in the real time. He was given 15 minutes to speak. In 15 minutes, he influenced the nation. That speech was called The Audacity of Hope, which is also a best-selling book. Second, Susan Boyle, she had, 15 minutes of fame. In 15 minutes, Susan didn't look as pretty as the rest of them. Susan's waistline wasn't like everybody else. But Susan had 15 minutes to shine, and she killed it. Now she's a millionaire. 15 minutes. Boiling water takes approximately 15 minutes to boil. We understand that hot water, and you may have heard this before, it gets to about 211 degrees. 1 degree more makes it boiling water. 212 degrees is when water begins to boil. It's 1 degree difference, but it takes 15 minutes to boil. Hot water can do certain things, but boiling water can move a train. So within 15 minutes, you can do a lot. You can bring about change. You can be hot. You can leave a lasting impression. And my question tonight is, what will you do with your 15 minutes? They gave me 15 minutes, so I'm going to try and rock it out. Every minute, every second, clock me. So with that being said, my presentation is titled 15 Minutes to Success. I'm not just a motivational speaker. I don't like to talk and just motivate people. I'm an educational speaker. I want to give you some tactical information on how to be a success in 15 minutes. That's all you need, 15 minutes. And you can be a success if you're determined to do so. There's two things that successful people have in common. One is desire. The other is the know-how. Desire simply means I have the ability, the passion to keep going no matter the obstacle, no matter what comes my way. I'm going to keep going because I want to be successful. And as you heard in my bio, my mother passed away when I was 14. We weren't warned. We weren't prepared. It wasn't even a terminal illness. My mom died, leaving 5 children. I depended on my father, but within 2 years, he died. But I had a desire inside of me to succeed no matter the obstacle. My simple formulation for success was just get an education, because I knew if I got an education, I could get out the ghetto. My parents didn't go to high school. Nobody in my family had ever gone to college. I'm not talking about sisters and brothers. My aunts, my uncles, granddaddy, grandmama, great. No one in my family had ever gone to college, but I had the desire to succeed. The second thing successful people have is the know-how, the plan. There must be a step-by-step process you take to get from where you are right now to where you see yourself being. Now, however you define success, that's up to you. But as I said earlier, I can't give you the desire, but I can give you the know-how, and that's what I'm going to give you tonight. The first thing, and we're talking about 15 minutes to success, I want to challenge you and educate you on is using your 15 minutes of fame. Throughout our life, we're given a small opportunity to shine. Some people are given more than one opportunity, but when you're given that opportunity, you want to shine and bring your A game. One of the books I wrote is called Quick Tips for Young Professionals, and that book is completely sold out, so I didn't bring that tonight, but I did bring others. And one of the things I talk about in the book is bringing your A game. When I was in high school, I played basketball. Don't let the heels fool you, I was a baller back in the. One of the things my coach always said was, Tekoa, bring your A game. I didn't know what it meant. I just knew go out there and just play, because he was going to run me for 4 quarters straight. But every time he would say, bring your A game before every game. So finally I asked him, what do you mean by bring your A game? He said, whatever you do, if someone were to grade you, make sure that you do it to the point that they would give you an A. So your 15 minutes of fame can be in different ways. It can be an interview. It can be an elevator pitch. It can be, I just want to introduce my business. Whenever you're given that opportunity, like Susan Boyle, to shine, rock it out. That when you're graded, you get an A. Excellence should be your reputation. And that moves me to the next slide. What is your brand? There's different levels that you can brand yourself on: low, guarded, elevated, high, severe. What is the one thing you want people to say about you once they leave your presence? If they buy your product, if they utilize your services, if they just come to a company you work for, even if you're a teacher, what do you want your students to say about you? What's your brand? When I say Nike, what do you think of? When I say Kodak, what do you think of? When I say Apple, you can think of so many things. Your brand is so important. It shows your quality and your level of excellence. So that's why it's important that everything you do, everything you produce, you must bring your A game. When I wrote my books, I've took it through 3 different editors. I continue to go over. I said, because when I get it, I don't want no one saying it's misspelled words or something's not right. I want to receive an A when someone reads my book. What is your brand? For me, I brand myself as a youth advocate, as a leader. That's what I'm passionate about. I'm a businesswoman just because I've always been a hustler. But my passion is helping youth. My passion is mentoring others. Just like we did the introduction, you had a couple of ladies stand up and say, I'm with Tekoa. Those are my mentees. And I tell them all the time, I want you to be better than me. Do more than I've done. If I've gone to Australia, I want you to go to Europe. Do more than I've done. Cover the globe. One of my mentees, Ms. Sharana, thank you, by the way, she's now working on her book. And I said, I want your book to hit New York Times bestseller. Do more than I did. What is your brand? And not only the question of what's your brand, what do other people say when they hear your name? Just like I said, Nike and Apple, you were able to say names. What is it that you want people to say about you when they hear your name? What's your brand? 15 minutes of fame. You want to make sure that you're a leader in your industry. We have many walks of life, many industries that's represented tonight, but be a leader in that. How do you become a leader? You solve a problem. You are paid according to the problem that you solve. For example, my hairstylist, I love her to death. She solves problems every week, especially while it's raining. Girl, I was like, Lord, please don't let it rain before I get in there because they videoing this. But she solves the problem, so I pay her according to the problem that she solves. My hair is thick. But now if something were to happen to my heart, I want someone to solve that problem. So would I pay my hairstylist the same amount I would pay my cardiologist? No. You are paid according to the problem that you solve. So ask your question that today, what problem are you solving? And can I solve a larger problem to make more money, to get more notoriety? If someone can find an alternative to gas that really works and that is affordable, you'll become a billionaire overnight. You're paid according to the problem that you solve. Be a leader by solving a problem. Next thing is niche. Don't go yet. Your niche, your demand. Then you expand, and he mentioned that earlier. What is your niche? Niche is real simple. What are you doing that's different from someone else? What are you doing that's different from someone else? What about your services? What is it about your product that's different than someone else? That's your niche. When you have a niche, you then create a demand. If you're doing something different than what everyone else has done, automatically your service, your products becomes a demand. And when you have a demand, you can expand your business. The books that I have tonight are on character education. The problem that I'm solving is that we have our kids in schools, in public schools, being educated on math, reading, and science, but we're not teaching them character. We always say you better know how to act. But if we don't teach them how to act, how do they know? We send them out on interviews, and we never taught them how to go through an interview. So that's the problem that we're solving for Orange County Public Schools. The book specifically on character education and life skills. It's a niche because there's no other book out there that uses the same structure that we use for reading, math, and science. What's your niche? When you have a niche, you can start a demand and you can expand. The quote, and I love quotes, that I have with this, along with success comes a reputation of wisdom. When you can succeed at something, you've just increased your stock market because you're going to get more service and more service and more service. Next, meet someone new. Take 15 minutes to meet somebody new. Networking. That's what this organization is about. Don't just come to the meetings and leave. Meet somebody. And when you meet somebody, follow up with them. Get their business card. Get to know them. See what you can do to exchange services. Join organizations. Sit on boards. Don't underestimate the power of sitting on a board. Every politician was originally a board member. If you're looking to go on politics, sit on a board. There's tons of boards here in Orlando that you can sit on. And it helps you to give back. So make sure that you're meeting someone. An Ethiopian proverb says, when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. There's so much more power in more than one person. Simple courtesies. These are things you may already know. I just want to make sure I cover this. Give a firm handshake. Make eye contact. Ask a question. Find out what the similarities are. Exchange business cards or contact information. Make sure that you leave that lasting impression. When you find out what they do, try and find out what can we do together. Your network increases your net worth. And that brings me to the next thing. In the very beginning, Maya and Danielle passed out 2 flyers for me. One of those flyers is the Princess and the Frog, okay? This is the result of networking. It's important that you follow up once you get a business card because you never know who holds the key to unlock your success. I have many clients. As she said, my business does consulting. I do one-on-one consulting. I also do consulting in the form of workshops and seminars. In the past, when I first started, I would sit down one-on-one and help people start their businesses and things like that. But I don't do that much anymore unless it's family or friends. But I do holistic consulting. If a company brings me in, I provide them services. And I work with FedEx, I work with Sprint, Nextel, and things like that. But here in Orlando, where the cheese is Walt Disney World. And as a result of networking, I was at another event for FAMU Alumni Gala. Met a young man, exchanged business cards. And he emailed me based on my business card, and I said, let's keep in contact. And he said, just watching you, MC, I think you would be a great Princess Tiana. And I'm saying, look, I know I may look young. I'm not that young. So long story short, we kept in contact. He then referred my information to someone at Walt Disney World who was looking for a Princess Tiana. Of course, I'm not in the age bracket. But she, in turn, went to my website and read, similar to the bio that you heard tonight, some of the things I've done, and that I'm in the community, I'm networking, diversity, I'm always with my brothers and my sisters. And she emailed me. At first, I thought it was a hoax. I'm like, is this spam? And she emailed me and said, hey, we have an opportunity with the new movie coming out, Princess and the Frog. This was last year. We all know Princess and the Frog is a historical movie. It's the first African-American princess story. People have their different views. But looking from the inside, Disney has tried everything they can to make sure this movie is diversity friendly. They've done everything they can to make sure. They've met with African-American leaders throughout the U.S. to make sure that we like this movie, and we still find something wrong with it. I say, Lord, they give Disney a hard time. We finally got a black princess, y'all complaining because the girl named. But anyways, I digress. Let me get back into professional mode. But they're doing everything they can. In addition to doing all of that, they also brought in a consultant and said, can we get your help to make sure we find the right Princess Tiana to represent the African-American community here in Orlando? That consultant is me. They paid me, and they are paying me according to the problem that I'm solving. Right. Say cha-ching. Cha-ching. Okay? As I said, I'm a hustler. Okay. But this came as a result of networking. So you never know who you're sitting next to. I had no idea this man would eventually lead me to where I am today, that I'm meeting with Disney executives, making sure negotiating money and helping them to find a historical character. Not only am I getting funded for this, but it feels good because I can help a young lady's dream come true to say, you're the first African-American Cinderella. You're the first African-American princess, because I am a youth advocate. So I love to help little girls' dreams come true. So I'm saying all that to say, if you hear nothing else tonight, network. Meet the person that's next to you. Take 15 minutes to meet somebody new. You never know who has the key to unlock your success. Next slide. Invest in yourself, honey, please. This is my favorite. Keep steadily before you the fact that all true success depends at last upon yourself. Go ahead. Make sure you invest in yourself. Education. Be a life student. Don't ever stop educating yourself. Even tonight, next door, I'm supposed to be in a class. It's called the Excellence in Entrepreneurship Certification. It's a 7-week course that costs money, but again, it was worth the investment. We invested it into ourselves so we can be there. Tonight, I had to be here, so when I leave, I have to go next door, take some notes, and come back. But never stop educating yourself. Take courses. Go back to school. Read a book. Read the newspaper. Make sure, if nothing else, that you're educated on your industry and what you're doing. I should know what's the top motivational speaker. I should know who's the best-selling author. I should know what consulting entails and what are companies looking for right now more than ever, because that's my industry. So read a book, read newspaper, know about your industry. Mentors. I love mentors. Mentors save you a lot of money because the mistakes they've made and they spent money for, you don't have to, because they can tell you, look, baby, don't go that route, go this route. Don't use that organization, use this organization. And make sure you surround yourself around people that know more than you, because you want to continue to grow. If you surround yourself around people that know everything you know, how can you grow? Don't be intimidated. I want everyone around me to have more knowledge than me, because I'm going to learn from you. I'm going to sit on your tree and learn from you. Also surround yourself around people that has more money than you. Why? Number one, some of them want to invest. I'm a hustler. Number two, it's going to motivate you to see, wow, so this is how life really can be. Number three, it's going to expose you to a lot of things you may not usually have been exposed to. So mentors. Next, your spirit. I don't care who interviews me. I don't care what newspaper it is. I cannot tell my story without mentioning God.
Amen.
And I know we're not in church, but if you ask me to give you advice from my experience, I have to mention God. We are a trichotomy. We have a spirit inside of us. That's why we're actually able to live and breathe. Make sure that you don't forget your spirit. Some people do yoga, some people meditate. I read the Bible. I pray. Make sure you take 15 minutes out your day to nourish your spirit. We spend hours within one day eating to nourish our physical. But make sure you nourish your spirit. Every morning, and I tell God, I can't walk out the door unless I nourish my spirit. I pray. I read my Bible. Some days it's a chapter, some days it's one scripture. But I read it. So make sure you invest in yourself by investing in your spirit. And health and fitness. You can only do your best if you're at your best. Consider some of the things you're eating. Make sure you exercise. This is all about investing in you. You can only be a success if you're at your best. Last, recap, 15 minutes to success. Use your 15 minutes of fame to shine. Bring your A game. Be excellent in everything that you do. Take 15 minutes to meet someone new, and that's my challenge tonight. Before you leave tonight, meet someone you don't know. Lastly, take 15 minutes a day to invest in yourself. It's so important. And overall, as you strive for success, remember your brand. Always remember, what reputation am I leaving behind? Even recently, this past Saturday, I got engaged. Since the last time y'all saw me. My fiancé is in the back. He's taken. But this Saturday, I had a wedding party meeting, and I'm going to close with this. I had a wedding party meeting with my bridesmaids and my family, and of course, it's just who I am. I had packets for everybody with pictures and outlines and dates and do's and don'ts and rules. But everybody said, we expected this from Tekoa. We knew it was going to be like this. That's my brand. I'm known to be organized, punctual, and go beyond the call of duty. What's your brand? You can achieve success, but take every 15 minutes you have to leave that lasting impression with whomever you meet, because you never know who unlocks your key or your door to success. And lastly, as I said, I love quotes. Focus on money, you'll make dollars. Focus on success, you'll make millions.